Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of the Vibrate Higher podcast. I am your host, Joelle. If you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you are not new, welcome back. This is our last episode of the year, and I will not make you wait any longer. Let's dive right. So we are approaching the end of 2025, and I really want you to pause for a moment and just feel that. So at the beginning of this year, I asked a lot of you as my podcast listeners to make a conscious decision not to just want more, but to actually become the versions of ourselves who naturally had the things we desired: the family life, the career, the business, the healthy body, the relationship, the friendships, the bank account, the peace. And instead of chasing those things, we challenged ourselves to embody that future version of ourselves in real time. We committed to thinking like them, walking like them, speaking like them, deciding like them. And in doing that, little by little, the goal was to begin to loosen our grip on the version of ourselves that just couldn't come with us. So now, as we close out this year, I want you to look around, not just at the tangible evidence in your life, but at your inner state. And I want you to ask yourself, are you less anxious about what's coming or more? Are you less reactive, less quick to pop off, or are you kind of about the same as you always have been? Are you still moving from urgency and scarcity and need? Or are you moving with a deeper certainty that what you need is always available to you? Now, your nervous system already knows the answer to this. And I'm not asking these questions to make you feel bad about yourself. I'm asking you to hold up the mirror to yourself with honesty, but not judgment, because awareness is what creates real change, not achievement, awareness. So now that you've asked yourself those questions, I'm asking you, what tweaks does the version of you in the mirror need now? If you follow the Chinese zodiac, you know that 2025 marked the year of the snake, which is really about shedding parts of you, shedding old skins, old identities. And I didn't know that when I set out to take all of us on this embodiment journey at the beginning of 2025. I didn't know that in addition to stepping into the identity of the version of us that had everything that they wanted and lived the type of life that they dreamed of, I had no idea we were also in the year of the snake. For me personally, it was a year of releasing what no longer fit. It was a year of recognizing where I was living from habit instead of living from truth. And it wasn't about rushing transformation for me. It was about understanding why change was needed. And in the last 30 days of this year, one thing became extremely clear to me. Letting go of stuff is not an ending, it's a preparation. And what I mean by that is a lot of times when you are actually going through it, you're on the front line of the problem, of the emotion, of the thing, and letting go can feel so hard. It can feel heavy. It can feel sad, like an ending of sorts. But I want to offer this reframe that letting go is not an ending, it's preparation. Because if you found yourself dealing with that this year, I want you to anchor yourself in the possibility that letting go of those things it's freeing up your capacity to receive more genuineness, more authenticity, more stability, more abundance, more love. So all of the letting goes that feel like these hard, heavy endings are more than likely preparing you for more. That was some hard shit for me just based on all of the things that were bubbling up that I now know that I needed to shed. But I can tell you, when you consciously expand, when you do it deliberately, it doesn't just affect your mindset, it shakes every single part of your life. It shakes your relationships, your boundaries, your standards, how you tolerate misalignment, all of it. And sometimes the shedding isn't just about shedding thoughts or shedding behaviors. It can be shedding people that you thought would always be there who just no longer align with your core values, and learning to choose that peace over familiarity. That is a part of becoming. So if you're like me, the version of yourself that you see in the mirror today is new. They're different, more grounded, more embodied, more discerning. And you may not have every single thing you envisioned when we first set out on this journey in January of 2025, or maybe you didn't hear that podcast and you just set your own goals. It's not about getting every single thing you envisioned, but if you are walking the direct path to it with far more certainty than you were before, that to me is a huge win, and honestly a little bit bigger than having the actual thing, because you've become the version of yourself who can actually hold it, who can sustain it, who can protect it, who can expand beyond it. And if you're listening to me right now and you're thinking, well, I didn't get what I wanted yet, I want you to hear this. If you gained anything, if you gained more self-awareness, if you learned how to regulate your emotions this year, if you learned how to set boundaries, if you learned how to stop betraying yourself, if you learned how to start telling the truth, then you didn't lose, you won. So as we look at the year ahead, don't ask yourself, well, what do I want this year? What are my goals? Ask yourself, who do I choose to be moving forward? Because the person you became in 2025 has already created the foundation for everything that's coming next. And that matters way more than you realize. So before we close this year, I want you to take one deep breath with me. And if you're driving, just be cognizant. Don't get too caught up in this. But if you're driving, I want you to come back and do this part with me. But if you are not and you are able to, I want you to stop what you're doing and I want you to take one deep breath with me. In and out. And as you exhale, let yourself really feel who you are now. Not who you're trying to be, not who you think you should be, but who you actually are in this moment. The person who showed up, the person who chose differently even when it was uncomfortable, the person who told the truth first to themselves. You did more this year than you're probably giving yourself credit for. Maybe you learned how to pause instead of react to stuff. Maybe you learned how to listen instead of push. You learned how to let go instead of force things. Or maybe you learned how to choose peace over familiarity. Either way, that is mastery. So if you're standing at the edge of the new year wondering if you did enough, just know this. You became someone new. And that means 2025 was not wasted. And I want you to carry that version of yourself forward. Protect them, honor them, trust them, continue to choose them every moment. Because the person that you became in 2025 is the one who will lead you into everything you asked for next. And as my listeners, I want to thank you for walking this journey with me. All of you who have been listening for a while, who've been riding with me on this journey that we set out to in January of 2025, who've been sending text messages letting me know that you're on the journey, that episodes resonated, that you're seeing progress. Thank you for walking with me. Thank you for choosing growth. Thank you for being here. And I hope you are vibrating higher now than when you pressed play. Also, if you're listening to this and thinking you want more of this energy in your life, I want you to know that you do not have to do this type of inner work alone. I created a community called MSTRY for seekers who want to strengthen their spiritual abilities and master themselves from the inside out. We do monthly Zoom calls. We also have a community. The link is in the show notes for you to join. It is a very new community, so it's founder pricing. I mean, it is literally dirt cheap, guys, like less than a coffee a day. So if my podcast episodes resonate with you and you are looking for a community of like-minded people that you can grow with, click that link, put your email address in, get on the list for the calls, sign up for the community, and I cannot wait to meet you in there. I will see you all on the other side next year. I wish you love and light, and I will talk to you soon.